Once upon a time in corporate chaos.
Sleeping Beauty, or Briar as she preferred to be called these days, it seemed more professional, stared out of her office window. She sighed.
Was it really only 10 in the morning? This felt like the longest century of my life. And trust me, I've got experience with long centuries.
She'd once slept through 100 years, a fact her current employer seemed to find incredibly concerning. You'd think a company called Dreamco would be a little more understanding about sleep, but no. Her HR rep, Chad, had scheduled a little check-in to discuss her performance.
I've only been with Dreamco for 6 months. I was promised a job full of creativity and innovation. The reality? Endless meetings, PowerPoint presentations about synergy, and Chad from HR. Chad, who apparently thinks a good team-building exercise is making everyone do trust falls in the parking lot.
Briar took a large gulp of her now cold coffee. She knew this meeting was going to be bad.
Thanks for coming in, Briar. We just wanted to have a little chat about your progress here at Dreamco.
Chad's office was decorated in various shades of beige. It was like being inside a bland oatmeal cookie. She sat across from his desk, which held a disturbingly large collection of motivational desk toys.
Progress is one word for it. Stagnant is another.
We've noticed that you've been, shall we say, a bit disengaged.
Disengaged?
Yes, sleeping on the job, missing deadlines, that sort of thing.
Right. The sleeping thing. Briar knew this was coming. Apparently, falling into a magically induced coma for a century was now a fireable offense in the corporate world. Who knew?
Let's look at your performance metrics, shall we? Your KPIs are, well, they're not exactly where we'd like them to be.
Briar stared at the sheet. It was covered in numbers and acronyms. She had no idea what any of it meant. It was like a foreign language, one specifically designed to make employees feel inadequate.
For example, your time-to-engagement ratio is concerning, and your proactive idea generation is practically non-existent.
He paused as if expecting her to burst into tears of remorse. She didn't.
Now, I understand that you may have certain challenges.
Challenges?
Yes, the sleeping thing.
Right, the sleeping thing. Briar resisted the urge to point out that she couldn't exactly help it. It wasn't like she chose to fall asleep in meetings. It just sort of happened. Usually when someone started talking about quarterly earnings or brand synergy.
Section 4. Feedback. Where's your fairy godmother now? We've also received some feedback from your coworkers.
Anonymous feedback, of course. We value everyone's privacy here at Dreamco.
He held up another sheet of paper. This one was pink. Briar had a bad feeling about this.
One comment mentioned that you're not a team player. Another said you were a little prickly and needed to work on your interpersonal skills.
Prickly? Who even said that? Was it Brad from accounting? She knew he'd been holding a grudge ever since she'd accidentally spilled coffee on his world's best spreadsheet manager mug.
Look, I'm trying my best. It's just hard to stay awake sometimes, Especially during those 3-hour meetings about...
Synergy?
Right, synergy.
Briar knew she sounded pathetic, but what was she supposed to do? She couldn't exactly tell Chad the truth about the curse, the spindle, and the fact that she was technically over 116 years old.
We understand, Briar. And that's why we've put together a special development plan to help you reach your full potential. We believe that with the right guidance and resources, you can excel beyond your wildest dreams. This plan is tailored specifically for you, taking into account your strengths and areas for improvement.
He handed her a brochure. It was titled, Dreamco Empowering You to Achieve Peak Performance, and Stay Awake While Doing It. The cover was glossy, with vibrant colors and bold fonts that immediately caught her eye. Briar flipped through the brochure. It was filled with images of smiling, well-rested employees. Each page seemed to promise a brighter, more energetic future. The employees looked genuinely happy, as if they had found the secret to balancing work and rest. There were tips on combating workplace fatigue and maximizing your sleep hygiene, detailed guides on how to create the perfect sleep environment, and advice on maintaining a healthy work-life balance. There was even a section on power napping like a pro. It included techniques for quick, effective naps that could recharge your energy in just a few minutes.
We're also going to assign you a mentor, someone who can really help you navigate the challenges of the workplace. This mentor will be your guide, your confidant, and your biggest supporter. Someone with a lot of experience in overcoming adversity. They've been through the ups and downs and have come out stronger on the other side.
Briar's heart sank. This did not sound good. She had hoped for a more straightforward solution, not a mentor who had faced unique challenges.
We've chosen someone we think you'll really connect with. Someone who knows what it's like to face unique challenges. Someone like Sleeping Beauty? Yes, the fairy tale character who slept for 100 years.
The door swung open and a woman strode in. She was tall and regal, with a crown perched on her perfectly coiffed hair. Her presence commanded the room, and everyone fell silent.
Your Majesty, Briar stammered, unable to believe her eyes.
Briar exclaimed, her jaw dropping. It was the Queen, her former and some might say completely overbearing aunt. The last person she expected to see in this context. Briar quickly realized that having the Queen as her mentor was not the dream come true Chad had envisioned. The Queen's royal demeanor and archaic methods clashed spectacularly with the fast-paced, tech-driven environment of Dreamco. Briar found herself constantly caught between the Queen's whimsical demands and the company's stringent performance metrics. The Queen, used to ruling a kingdom, had no concept of the modern workplace. She was baffled by the open-plan office, the constant hum of computers, and the casual dress code. Her attempts to impose royal protocols were met with bemusement and frustration from the staff. She kept referring to Chad as the court jester, and insisted on holding all meetings in the company break room, which she'd renamed the Royal Court. The break room was now adorned with makeshift thrones and banners, and employees were expected to bow before speaking. After a week of this chaos, Briar was summoned back to Chad's office. She walked through the office, feeling the weight of her colleagues' sympathetic glances. Everyone knew this meeting was not going to end well.
Briar, we've had another look at your performance metrics and, well, frankly, they're worse than ever. Your numbers have plummeted, and the Queen's mentorship hasn't helped at all.
He slid an envelope across the desk. The gesture was cold and final, a stark contrast to the chaotic and surreal week Briar had just endured.
This is your severance package. We've included 2 weeks' pay, a year's supply of Dreamco's new energy drink, it's called Hustle Brew, and a voucher for a free nap consultation. We hope these will help you transition smoothly.
Briar stared at the envelope. 2 weeks' pay? Hustle Brew? A nap consultation? Was this a joke? The absurdity of the situation was almost too much to bear. She felt a mix of anger, disbelief, and a strange sense of relief.
Look, Chad, I appreciate the opportunity, but I think it's time for me to move on. This experience has been enlightening, to say the least, but I need to find a place where I can actually grow and contribute.
She stood up, picked up the envelope, she might as well keep the Hustle Brew, she thought, and turned to leave. As she walked out of the office, she felt a strange sense of freedom. The future was uncertain, but at least it was hers to shape. As she walked out of Dreamco's headquarters, Briar felt a sense of relief wash over her. It was as if a heavy weight had been lifted off her shoulders, a burden she had carried for far too long. Briar felt a sense of relief wash over her. She took a deep breath, savoring the fresh air and the newfound freedom that came with it. Sure, she was unemployed, but she was also free. Free from the monotonous routine that had drained her creativity and enthusiasm. Free from the soul-crushing boredom of corporate life where every day felt like a repeat of the last and every task seemed devoid of meaning. Free from Chad and his performance metrics, which had become the bane of her existence, constantly reminding her of targets and quotas. And most importantly, free from the Queen and her mentorship. She had a plan that had been brewing in her mind for months, waiting for the right moment to be set into motion. She would start her own business, a venture that would allow her to be her own boss, to create something meaningful and fulfilling. Something that played to her strengths, her creativity, her passion for innovation, and her desire to make a difference. Something that embraced her unique challenges. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was ready to face whatever obstacles came her way.
To the bank, please, and step on it. She was eager to get started, to turn her dreams into reality. I've got a business to build. She had already sketched out her business plan, detailing every step she needed to take.
Her new company would be called Sleeping Beauty's Slumber Solutions, a name that reflected her whimsical yet practical approach to business. It would specialize in luxury sleep products, silk pajamas, memory foam pillows, and blackout curtains so effective they could block out even the most persistent rays of corporate sunshine. She wanted her customers to experience the best sleep of their lives. She would create a line of sleep masks with slogans like, "I'm not sleeping, I'm strategizing, and don't wake me until my KPIs improve. I'm strategizing and don't wake me until my KPIs improve." Each product would be a blend of comfort and humor, designed to bring a smile to her customers' faces. This was her happily ever after, a life where she could be true to herself and her passions, and it wouldn't involve a prince, a castle, or a soul-crushing job, just her entrepreneurial spirit, and a whole lot of pillows. Just her entrepreneurial spirit, and a whole lot of pillows. This was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with endless possibilities and the promise of a brighter future.